RW Wrestling Podcast's old guy is here, and he's back with another random Mass Daily match review. And today we're going to review the TLC match number 4 from Monday Night Raw on October 7th, 2002. It's in Las Vegas, Nevada, and the theme of the show was Raw Roulette. And it turns out that this TLC match is going to be for the WWE Tag Team Championships. So the first two men to the ring are Rob Van Dam and Jeff Hardy. Next comes out is Bubba Ray and Spike Dudley. Then we have Christian and Chris Jericho. And then we have Kane, and he's supposed to have the Hurricane with him, but Hurricane got jumped by Flair and Triple H earlier in the night, so he's not going to compete in this match. So Kane is going to go at it by himself. And of note, Kane is a double champion at this point. He has not only the Tag Team Championships, but he also is the Intercontinental Champion. So we got Kane 2 belts here. All 7 men are in the ring. They are ready. The tables are ready. The ladders are ready. The chairs are ready. The ref says ring the bell, and here we go. Right off the bat, everybody rushes at Kane and takes punches from the big red machine. Kane backdrops Spike when Spike runs at him off the ropes. Kane hits a one-armed sidewalk slam to Rob Van Dam. Bubba tries to whip Kane off the ropes, but Kane reverses and backdrops Bubba. Jericho and Christian bring the first ladder into the ring while everyone is trying to beat up Kane. While Kane is fighting off both Hardy and RVD, Jericho and Christian climb up the ladder, but Spike and Bubba Ray get in the ring and pick off both Christian and Jericho off the ladder. An RVD chant breaks out. Kane throws Hardy into the setup ladder, and then Kane slams RVD's head into a turnbuckle. Kane whips RVD into the opposite corner. Kane charges, but RVD dodges and starts to work on Kane's legs with kicks. And then Jeff Hardy joins RVD to double team Kane with kicks in the corner. RVD and Jeff Hardy whip Kane off the ropes, but both men eat a double clothesline from Kane. Kane is standing tall, and he's looking to see what else is next for him while the crowd pops for him. So far, so good. This crowd is loving it. Kane throws Hardy out of the ring and then joins him on the floor. RVD jumps at Kane but gets goozled. Hardy runs the barricade and nails Kane with a clothesline, so all 3 men are down. In the ring, Bubba Ray takes the ladder, puts it on his head, on his shoulders, and plays helicopter with the ladder and nails Jericho and Christian a few times each with the ladder. Bubba takes the ladder out from under his head and turns around, and Kane is right there, and Kane kicks the ladder into Bubba Ray's chest. Bubba Ray bumps to the mat with the ladder on top of him. RVD is seen climbing to the top rope, and he nails Kane with a kick to the side of the head. Jeff Hardy gets back in the ring, and both he and RVD clothesline Kane over the top rope into the floor. And they both, and with that momentum, both RVD and Jeff Hardy also go over the top as well. So all 3 of those guys are on the floor. Back in the ring, Jericho clotheslines Spike. Jericho hits a belly-to-back suplex to Spike. Jericho and Christian set the ladder up on the turnbuckle, and then Chris Jericho whips Spike chest first into the ladder. Both Jericho and Christian double team Bubba Ray in a corner. Jericho and Christian whip Bubba Ray off the ropes and backdrop Bubba Ray. Christian holds Bubba Ray for Jericho, and Jericho goes for a clothesline, but Bubba Ray dodges and Christian eats the clothesline. Bubba Ray does his punch, suck it, bionic elbow bit to Jericho. Bubba Ray clotheslines Jericho over the top rope. And then we see Kane climbing to the top rope, and he hits Christian with a right hand to the side of the head of Christian. Bubba Ray brings in another ladder into the ring. Bubba Ray hits Kane with that ladder. Bubba Ray sets the ladder up and starts to climb, but Kane is able to pull him back down. Kane picks up Bubba Ray and nails him with a choke slam. Spike runs at Kane, but Kane catches Spike and body slams him. Kane picks up Spike and gorilla press slams him onto RVD, who's on the floor. So both RVD and Spike are on the floor. Jeff Hardy and RVD are on both Jeff Hardy and Bubba Ray are on the floor. Kane's in the ring again, or is still in the ring standing tall. Jericho brings a ladder into the ring and hits Kane in the face with a ladder. And then Christian hits Kane with an inverted DD. Kane gets hit in the face with a ladder and bumps to the floor. Christian hits Kane with an inverted DDT on the floor. And then both Christian and Jericho put Kane on a table. That's already set up. Christian and Jericho climb up to the apron and try to pull a ladder out of the ring. But while doing so, Rob Van Dam climbs to the top rope and does a 360 onto the ladder, which slingshots the ladder right into the faces of Jericho and Christian, and both Jericho and Christian bump to the floor. On the floor, we get Hardy setting up a ladder at the foot of the table where Kane is laying on, and then he hits a prone Kane with a chair, wham, right in the chest. And that's going to mobilize Kane for a second, so Hardy can climb up the second ladder, and he gets all the way to the top. And geez, wham! Hardy with a leg drop from the top of the ladder onto a prone Kane through a table. Jeez, first big spot of the night. There will be more. Next thing we see is Bubba Ray climbing into the ring, and he picks up one of the ladders and drops on Chris Jericho, who's already on the floor selling something, and he has a ladder on top of him. Bubba Ray is climbing up the other ladder, but is powerbombed off of it by Christian. Both Bubba Ray and Christian stay on the mat, and Bubba Ray is So Christian power bombs Bubba Ray off the ladder. Christian sells to the mat while Bubba Ray is out cold. And let's see here. We got Kane and Jeff Hardy are selling that Jeff Hardy leg drop. Jericho's right next to them. He has a ladder, and he's out because he just took a ladder shot to the head. Spike is somewhere on the floor, as is RVD. It's freaking chaos, and we go to a commercial. So, yeah. So back from the break, we see Bubba Ray's in the ring beating up Rob Van Dam. Jericho and Christian are in the ring as well. Bubba Ray sets up a second ladder. Bubba Ray and Chris Jericho are climbing up one ladder. They're climbing up both sides of one ladder, and RVD is climbing up the other ladder. Jericho bulldogs Bubba Ray off their ladder, and RVD, trying to get to the other ladder, gets kind of stuck in between both of them, and Christian is able to take advantage of it and hits an inverted DDT to Rob Van Dam off the ladder. But all between so Bubba Ray and Jericho and RVD and Christian are all selling in the ring. All the men are giving so far all these men are giving the fans what they want. This crowd is absolutely hyped. They're responding to everything. We're in 2002, so we're still towards the end of the Attitude Era, but still wrestling is white hot, and this match is definitely what the fans want to see. We see Bubba Ray crawls to the floor. Spike starts to climb a ladder, but Christian is able to pull him down. Christian scoop slams Spike to the floor, to the floor, not the mat, over the ropes and to the floor. RVD and Christian are in the ring, and they're trading kicks and punches. Christian gets the last kick to RVD, and then walks to the ladder and starts to climb it. Kane is now back in the ring, and he pushes the ladder over, which crotches Christian on the top rope. Jeff Hardy is back from the dead, and he climbs to the top rope, and he breaks the big man rule, and by jumping at Kane, and he eats a power slam from Kane. Kane whips Hardy into the corner and hits Jeff Hardy with a running clothesline in the corner. Kane follows that up with a big boot to Jeff Hardy, who bumps out of the ring. Kane goes and picks up a ladder and sets it up under the belts. No one else is around. He's all by himself. So Kane starts to climb the ladder. The crowd's starting to pump up a little bit. But Spike comes in the ring and wraps both of his arms around Kane's leg. Kane kind of kicks Spike off, but Spike lets go at the same time. And Spike runs the ropes, and Kane just picks up the ladder and throws it at Spike in the head. Throws it and hits Spike in the head with it. And then Kane uses the ladder to push Spike out of the ring. So again, Spike is on the floor. Chris Jericho gets back in the ring with a chair and hits the ladder with the chair into Kane's chest. Kane bumps to the mat. Bubba Ray gets back in the ring, and Chris Jericho rams the chair into Bubba Ray's gut and then hits Bubba Ray in the back with the chair. RVD comes back in the ring and hits a beautiful spinning heel kick to Jericho's temple. Jericho bumps and then drops the chair at the same time. Kane has sold into a corner at this point, and Bubba Ray is crawling around the same corner. So Jeff Hardy uses that little formation and comes into the ring and takes advantage of it and hits poetry in motion to Kane, using Bubba Ray as the platform. Hardy picks up a chair and tells RVD to go to the top rope, and oh boy, here we go. We've all seen this 100 times. Jeff Hardy holds the chair up in front of Kane, and here we go, and wham! Van Terminator. Right in the face of Kane. Kane just slinks to the floor. And then we see Rob Van Dam go to the crowd. Rob Van Dam. Chris Jericho. So at this point, we see Kane sliding out of the ring. He's hurt. Rob Van Dam and Jeff Hardy are down. Jericho's down in the corner. I have no idea where Bubba Ray and Spike are at this point. Has anyone seen Christian? Because last I heard, he's on the floor too, but I have no idea. It's a big mess, ladies and gentlemen. So Jericho gets back up and he attempts a suplex to Jeff Hardy onto a ladder, but Jeff Hardy blocks it. Jeff Hardy turns it around and suplexes Chris Jericho onto the ladder. Oh man, it had to hurt. If you watch this, you'll see Chris Jericho absolutely. I don't even think he prepares for the fall. He just it looks brutal. It had to hurt. Oh wait, there's Christian. Christian's in the ring. Cool. Oh, he's climbing to the top rope, and Jeff Hardy sees him and intercepts Christian with a punch to the gut on the top rope. Then Jeff Hardy proceeds to slam Christian off the top rope onto the same ladder he slammed Chris Jericho. And that one probably hurt too. I'm not really sure. But anyway, welcome back, Christian. Nice to see you. Let's see here. Jeff Hardy sets up a ladder as RVD and Jericho are selling in the ring. Bubba Ray gets back in the ring and climbs up the opposite side of the ladder that Jeff Hardy is climbing. Both men trade punches. Bubba Ray slams Hardy on the top of the ladder, and then Bubba Ray wraps up Hardy and then superplexes him over the ladder to the mat. Jesus Christ. Wow. That had to hurt. As the suplex was happening, you could hear JR saying, as the move is in mid-flight, somebody call the MTs, and then wham, the freaking suplex hits the mat. Wow. Both men are selling on the mat. RVD is crawling towards the ladder as Jericho is making his way into the ring. Both Bubba Ray and Hardy are still selling the superplex. And Kane, Christian, and Spike are all on the floor. RVD gets to the ladder and he's climbing up rung by rung. He's trying to get up there and he actually gets his hand up on one belt. But Bubba Ray is there to stop RVD. Bubba Ray punches RVD off the ladder and Bubba Ray himself can't keep his balance and he falls off the ladder. Bubba Ray bumps to the floor. Jericho is now approaching the ladder. RVD and Jeff Hardy are down on the mat. Everyone else is on the floor. So Jericho makes it to the ladder and he's climbing. But here comes Spike. Spike grabs Jericho's leg to try to slow Jericho down, but Jericho kicks him. But Jericho kicks Spike off of him. Spike tries again, but again Jericho kicks off Spike. Jericho's climbing up some more, and he can touch the belts. He's got his hands on them. He can touch them, but Spike gets under the ladder and tips the ladder up. And good Lord, Jericho bumps straight to the floor. Huge pop from the crowd because Jericho's that god-awful heel. But good Lord, that was a fucking bump if I ever saw one. He went straight to the floor. Now it's Spike's turn. He's in the ring all by himself. Spike sets up a ladder, starts to climb. Is this Spike's night? But no. Christian comes in the ring, and we haven't seen him for a while, but here comes Christian anyway. But Spike responds to Christian with a few punches. Spike goes for the acid drop, but Christian blocks it, and then wham! Christian reverses the acid drop, and Spike is dropped through a table on the outside to the floor by Christian. Is that the kill shot for Spike? It looks like it. He's dead. Spike is selling on the mat. Looks like he's dead. So now we have Christian crawling towards the ladder. Spike is dead on the floor. Hardy is still selling in the ring. Everyone else is on the floor selling their own little injuries. This crowd is hyped up. They know the end is near. They know something's about to happen. They know things are going to keep happening. And if they're hyped, shit, you know I'm hyped. All right, so Christian is maneuvering the ladder. And we see Bubba Ray is getting back in the ring. Bubba Ray picks up and sets up another ladder next to the one Christian is climbing. Bubba Ray starts to climb up a ladder and grabs Christian, and he picks up Christian and hits him with a bubble bomb. Wham! Both men are now down on the mat. RVD is now climbing to the top and climbing to the top rope, and 5-star frog splash to Christian. That's Christian's kill shot. Huge pop for that. Jeff Hardy to the top. He attempts a swanton to Bubba Ray, but Bubba Ray moves out of the way. Jeff Hardy hit the mat hard, and somehow he's able to get back to his feet and charges Bubba Ray. Bubba Ray ducks and backdrops Hardy over the top rope, and wham! Through a table, Jeff Hardy goes. Kill shot for Jeff Hardy. He's out. RVD picks up a chair, throws it at Bubba Ray. Bubba Ray catches it, and oopsie. RVD hits the Van Daminator to Bubba Ray's face. Bubba Ray's out of the match. Kill shot for Bubba Ray. RVD's in the ring by himself. RVD is setting up a ladder. Jericho's crawling into the ring. Spike and Jeff Hardy are dead. I think Christian is dead as well. I don't know what happened, but he's on the ground. He's on the floor. He's not moving. Bubba Ray's on the floor. And did Kane leave? I'm not sure what happened to Kane. RVD sets up his ladder. He's climbing. He's moving up, rung by rung. He's touching the belts. But Chris Jericho hits RVD with a chair right in the back. Bam! Jeff Hardy climbs up the ladder and manages to lock in the walls of Jericho and RVD on top of the ladder, or over the top of the ladder. Chris Jericho pushes RVD off the ladder, and RVD bumps to the floor. I think that was RVD's kill shot. Jericho's all alone on the ladder. He's climbing. This crowd is going absolutely apeshit, because back from the depths of hell is Kane. Kane climbs the ladder. Crowd's going nuts. Jericho's trying to fight off Kane. He's trying to fight off Kane ascending to the top, but Kane will not be denied. Kane goozles Chris Jericho. Kane does a leaping chokeslam to Jericho off the ladder. Both men hit the mat. Jericho gets his kill shot. He's dead. He's out. He's on his back, spread eagle. He's done. Kane's on the mat, and he sits up, Undertaker style. Crowd pops for Kane. Kane sets up the ladder and climbs up. No one else is even close to getting him. He's up rung by rung. Kane reaches up, snags down both title belts, and at 16-15, Kane has won the 4th TLC match and retains the Tag Team Championships by himself. Crowd is popping huge for Kane, and Kane celebrates on the ladder, and he celebrates a little more when he gets off the ladder. And as we cut to black, I'm taking a break. All right, I'm back. I had to go drink a beer, go to the bathroom, because I'm just tired even going over that match. God damn. A lot of action, hot crowd, immense talent in the ring, and I just got to ask this question. Can there ever be a bad TLC match? I mean, I doubt it. If there is, if there's the right amount of talent in a TLC like we had, like this match we just talked about, there will never be a bad one. Because, I mean, the only real drawback of a TLC match is the TLC match itself. The match is a plunder fest. It's you use tables and ladders and chairs to beat up your opponents if you don't already do that yourself. So the match takes a toll on all the wrestlers. You can't do this every night. Plus, what do you have to do to elevate this match? I mean, the same thing with Hell in a Cell and Elimination Chamber. You can't do anything more than what the match gives you. You can't you can't elevate it. I mean, I've seen guys get speared off. I saw Jeff Hardy grabbing title belts, getting speared off of it, 10 feet up in the air. I saw Jericho get dumped off a ladder, he's 12 feet up in the air, and he's falling an extra 5 feet down to the floor. I see guys taking chair shots from the ladder. I mean, what more can you do to elevate this match? So it's really all about the talent and how they sell everything and the stories they have within the match. Actually, another thing that would probably lower qualities of a TLC match is the redundancy of it. I mean, if you had this all the time, it would get pretty boring, wouldn't it? I mean, there is a pay-per-view called TLC, Tables, Ladders, and Chairs. At first, there would be one TLC match per pay-per-view, but with the brand split, recently there have been 2 matches per show. And the same thing happens with Elimination Chamber and Hell in a Cell pay-per-views. You see these matches all the time now. There have been 28 TLC matches in WWE since the first one in 2000. But that's not a lot of occurrences. But in turn, what having the pay-per-view does is that it takes away from the spontaneity of the match itself. So instead of let's say Undertaker coming out one day and saying he has an issue with somebody and says, "I want you in the Hell in a Cell," all you got to do now is just pay attention to the pay-per-view schedule, and you know when you're going to see a Hell in a Cell or Elimination Chamber or a TLC match. That's not spontaneous. So every year you know when's going to happen. So that kind of takes away a little bit from the idea of a TLC or those other 2 matches I was mentioning. But in my experience, none of these points has really taken away the quality of the match itself. I mean, if I'm still watching one, I'm going to react to all the spots and the sequences and the bumps and everything. In my opinion, I still think the original TLC matches with Edge and Christian and the Hardys and Dudleys are the best ones. But that's just me because I kind of grew up on that. Plus, they were the first ones and they're novel, and they still are. I can still watch them. In fact, you can hear about our review for WrestleMania 17 on RW podcast that we did, a year ago or so. And you'll see our reaction to it. I think we gave it a 10 out of 10. And so let me know what you think in the comments about TLC matches. Are they exciting anymore? Do you like them? Which one's your favorite? Okay, so this particular TLC match was fantastic. This one checked every single box you would need. You got a story. You had selling, of course, duh. Heel face dynamic. You had cool spots, great sequences, a hot crowd. Jim Ross was fantastic in this match. So and not to mention this TLC had the right amount of ebb and flow. It wasn't bell to bell chaos because you need those breathers every once in a while. And there was a point, I think, maybe 10 minutes in where everyone was just kind of selling. There'd be a bump and then a little bit more selling because, I mean, these guys are just beating the shit out of each other. So well done with the way that the way the book was the way the match was mapped out. Really good job there. On an individual basis, all these participants brought their A game for our admittedly sadistic pleasures. Kane bookended the match. He was the target and kind of the star early in the match. Everyone was bumping for him. He was people would rush him. He would be able to fend them off. And not to mention, he's the guy who's fighting by himself, and he's the one defending the tag belts. And then of course he was the guy at the end who won. And everything he did, it got a pop. When he went to the top rope, it hit. I think it was Christian with that one little sledgehammer fist that he does, or wherever off the top rope. He got a huge pop for that. Huge pop when he won. Whenever he did anything, he got a pop. He's so over at this point. He also took a lot of bumps, specifically the leg drop from Jeff Hardy off the ladder and the Van Daminator, and not to mention him winning completed the story arc. Hurricane got beat up earlier in the night, so he was forced to defend the tag belts by himself, and it was a great story that he won. He overcame the odds. Great story there. Chris Jericho, he was the top heel in the match. He got the most of the negative reaction from the crowd, and he played the opportunistic heel to a T. I mean, he and Christian brought a ladder in early while Kane was occupying everybody else, and they tried to win the match that way. Not to mention he was there at the end. He was the last guy Kane had to take care of before Kane won. And seriously, that bump he took off the ladder. So those ladders are like 10 feet tall. He himself was still sitting on it. He was there's maybe 2 to 3 feet more of him. So, and he drops all the way to the floor. So it's like 5 feet from the mat to the floor. So add on your 10 feet plus 2 feet plus 5 feet. That's like a 17-foot drop from Chris Jericho's shoulder to the floor. Yeah, so tell me wrestling ain't real. Let's see what else here. By the way, I want to know if anyone who watched this match, did anyone catch Jericho using his legs to keep the ladder steady for Kane as Kane was able to climb to the top and get the tag balls for the finish? Let me know if you spotted it or anything like that, because it's pretty subtle. But if it's possible that if Jericho doesn't do that, Kane falls. It looks pretty stupid. Anyway, so next man was RVD. So Rob Van Dam had the crowd in his hands the second his music played. He's one of a kind. That 360 he did to slingshot the ladder into Jericho and Christian's face was beautiful. Not to mention the Van Terminator to Kane, which nearly killed Kane. And he and Jeff Hardy were the same kind of person in this match. They were the guys who were everywhere. If you needed a bump, they were there. If you needed a spot to be executed, they were there. And so Jeff Hardy was the guy he climbed a ladder and leg dropped Kane off the top of the ladder through a table. He also got superplexed off the top of a ladder. He got backdrop over the top rope through a table. So again, he and RVD were just the guys doing a lot of the high flying spots and bumps. That was their role in the match, I think. We got Bubba Ray and Spike. I swear, Bubba Ray was constantly around a ladder. Either he had it on his head, on his person, using it as a weapon, or he was pulling people off the ladder, or he was being himself was being pushed off the ladder, or move was put on him off the ladder. He superplexed Jeff Hardy off the ladder. That was a hell of a bump. He Bubba bombed Christian off the ladder. He knocked RVD off the ladder a number of times. And the bumps he took was like the Bulldog from Chris Jericho. He took that bump. And he also took a power bomb from Christian off the ladder. And combine that with the kind of the weapons he used. He did the helicopter thing on Jericho and Christian. So I think his role in the match was he was just supposed to be the guy using the ladder the most, which he did. Spike played the little guy who mostly took bumps. He got a few spots in. He tipped the ladder over on Jericho. And he also got himself put through a table. But for the most part, Spike would take a punch or take a move, and he would just disappear for a little while. And in fact, he was gone for portions of this match. He was selling on the outside, and the same with Christian. Like Spike, Christian would disappear at portions of this match. He still had his moments. So like he did put Spike through that table, and he did powerbomb Bubba Ray off a ladder. But just like Spike, he would take a move and he would sell on the outside for more portions of the match than anybody else. So I had this match it's one of those matches that's tough to rate because it's a mess for the most part. But when I watched it out after I was able to watch it once without taking notes. I watched it again, and then I was able to take my notes and everything. And the more I took my notes, the more this match was getting really exciting. I was exhilarated by watching. All the bumps were clean. There was no fuck-ups. Everyone did a great job. I gave the match a 9. The only part about it was hard to follow. Even though I overcame it to take my notes, I was able to rewind everything. But watching it initially, it was very hard to see where everybody was at. There were times where I was wondering, where's Christian, where's Kane, and Spike Dudley was disappeared for a little while. I think TLC matches with more than 6 people, it gets kind of messy. 2 people are obviously maybe it's a little too focused, but like with 6 people, you get a lot more ways to get invested in the match. So like when you watch like the Hardys and Christian and the Dudley Boys, there was a lot more ways to get spots in and sequences, and you got different pairings. If it's just 2 guys, it's just the same 2 people over and over again. And it's kind of hard to think that these 2 guys would be able to like beat the shit out of each other with the weapons over and over again for like 15 minutes or so. And the match will still be fun, but I think 6 people, 4 people maybe, 4 to 6 people I think is the optimal amount of people for a TLC match. But like again, I'm just being critical because I'm just because it's my job here to analyze these matches and just be as critical as I can. Don't get me wrong, this match was still loads of fun. I suggest to anyone listening to watch this match if you haven't yet, and because my words won't do it justice. So go and watch this match. And so I'm going to cut this off right here. I'm going to come back at you again tomorrow with another random Mass Daily match review. Have a good night.